So guys, nowadays a lot of videos are coming up on YouTube and other social media platforms that Canada is no more worth in 2023 or 2024. People are leaving Canada. It's not a good place for immigrants, or people are shying away from moving to Canada. So I personally think that there must be a reason behind why people are doing it. So I, as an immigrant, but not by virtue of my profession, but purely as an immigrant and as a social media content creator, I think it's my responsibility to give you the honest, practical ground reality, because I make a lot of content on Canadian immigration and for life for newcomers in Canada. I think it is my responsibility to put out a word and let you guys know that what exactly is happening, and is it still worth moving to Canada in 2024 or onwards, and is it still worth the effort? Okay, so let's just look at all of those videos, the reasons in detail, and then I will also give you my opinion on the other side of the video. See you on the other side. Guys, welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice here in Ontario and my office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to connect with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of moving to Canada, then this is a channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. Guys, before we proceed with this video, I just want to give you an honest opinion that today's video I will be making not based on my profession, but I will be making it based on an honest immigrant's review. Having lived in Canada for over 5 years, I am now a citizen as well. So I will give you my honest feedback that actually, is it worth living here? Is it worth your time and investment? And I'm sure if you have been through my old videos, I am generally known for giving very honest reviews. If it's a no, I simply give a feedback that it's no. And if it's actually worth it, I will give you. So I'll give you perspectives on what kind of people should be moving here and what is it worth in the coming times. So guys, like I told you that there are tons of videos out there in the market on social media about a negative sentiment about moving to Canada. So one of the most commonly addressed element in those videos was that there are no more jobs available in Canada. Guys, open and honest about it, I think it is an absolute lie, and it's an absolute incorrect statement that there are no jobs, because I personally feel that there are tons of jobs. In fact, at this moment, I am also hiring at least 3 people, and I know tons of people and businesses around here who are actually always coming up with the thought that, we are short on people, who are ready to work full time, or people have actually sentiments to work towards, their PR and after their PR. So in fact, I think that the latest generation that is coming here is only working here for permanent residency. Once they get their PR, after that they are no more interested in working on those jobs. In fact, that is the truth is the other way around. Tons of jobs available. In fact, my own brother, who's here on international study permit, is now on his post-graduation work permit. He got his job on literally the first day of his implied status of PGWP. He didn't have to find too much because he was skilled. He had the right, resumes, the right strategy of job application. My personal opinion is that finding a job can be a mix of 2 things, or rather 3 things, right? One is whether are you present at the right time, at the right place, and are you striking at the right opportunity. This part will include a lot of your techniques of finding a job, whether you're just door knocking on businesses, which is, I think, a waste of time, or are you actually making the smart decision of going online, targeted approach and everything. Are you also using, very pointed resumes? Do you have a good portfolio to show off? And are you, presenting yourself during the interview? Are you there at the right time or not? So that is really important. Secondly, I think little bit of a luck factor also is important in you finding the right job. But I think more of your efforts will actually attract the luck towards your way. I've seen tons of students here, and I've in fact seen tons of people abroad getting LMIs and moving over to Canada. So I personally don't think that there is any dearth of jobs. In fact, Canada, every business that we see around is hiring at the moment. I know tons of people, because I do a lot of LMIAs and do have a lot of corporate clients. Never have I come across a business or a friend or a network saying that, oh, I'm too filled with resumes. Oh, I'm short on jobs. I don't want to hire more. Never have I ever heard anybody saying that I don't. In fact, it's the other way around. I always hear people saying that, oh, we don't have the right talent. We don't have many people applying for the interviews. I don't know who are these people who are making these videos saying there are no jobs. I absolutely think there are tons of jobs. You just have to be finding the right way, and you need to be sure that you're applying with the right skills, you're upgrading yourself, and also you're worth the job. Now, if you don't have an experience for, say, for example, an IT field, or if you've not upgraded yourself as well, how can you claim that you're not getting a job when you did nothing but study project management or study business management, and then you found yourself applying for an IT job, right? So first you need to make sure that the skills are there, and then you claim that there are no jobs. First, make sure that you have the right skills, you've tried your best, and then you say that, you found a job or not. So I think there's a big disconnect in this. The second most discussed thing I personally think is about cost of living. When people are actually addressing the fact that gas prices are going up, the inflation rates have gone up. I personally think that no country in 2023 after COVID is free from inflation. I know India, for that fact, has very little inflation, but if you look at all the other countries, including the US, UK for that matter, Europe entire, Australia, all of these countries have ongoing inflation issues. Canada has about 6 or 7%. They have done all they could. They're adopting all measures to bring it under control. But guys, inflation is an issue that has plagued us for centuries. A lot of banks are failing in the US. That also contributes. The shaky economy in the European region, UK, also is contributing to it. And then the Russian-Ukraine war, that is also adding to a lot of miseries. And there were oil issues in Saudi Arabia as well. So guys, all of these things contribute, right? You can't really towards the end say that Canada is not owning up to it. Guys, the whole world is going into inflation. Then how can you single out Canada saying that it's not worth it? It is definitely worth it, because when compared to the other countries, it is not as bad. In fact, it is way better than that. The government has offered a lot of rebates, helps, and tried to sustain the economy at a better rate. In fact, we have not seen actual figures of recession. People are saying it's recession time, but I personally think the minimum wage is also going up to about $17 very soon. So it is expensive, no doubt, but the earning potential at the same time is also huge. Now, there is income parity. You will make at least minimum wage. People who don't know what poverty is, I think you guys should go to the suburbs of India, go outside Delhi. In fact, go in Delhi, and then you will realize what poverty is and what living below poverty line is. People here generally crib about buying a home, not being able to pay the mortgage. I personally think that it was you who took that decision to take that mortgage beyond your pocket limits. And now when you're not able to pay for it, you should not be, cribbing about it. People have taken very, drastic decisions when they could not afford a certain property, and they decided to take mortgage beyond their, spending limits. And now those are the ones who are making the most hue and cry. I personally think no, there is not much of an issue. It is a built-up crisis, and compared to the other parts of the world, I think it is still under control. So yes, it is there, but not as bad as it's hyped about. Next, I think housing, which is very much related to this inflation only. Housing is a big issue. I agree to that. Housing today in Canada is an issue, especially the prices and the mortgage rates also going up. Now, if you compare this with about 5 years back, then you will find that the mortgage rates are higher, right? But if you compare this with 10 years back or even previous to that, then you will find that it is normalized, because it's now hitting the rates that usually existed before. People, because of lower interest rates in the last 2 3 years, bought houses beyond their spending capacities. They started taking advantage of the market, and then they started selling houses on assignments, which I think could have been curbed a little more earlier. Now the government has taken steps like imposing additional taxes on foreign buyers. Then they're also imposing taxes on people who are buying investment properties. But all in all, I think over the years, every country sees a spike in real estate, and if real estate grows, then only a country's economy will also grow. I think it was growing a lot more than expected, but about 5 to 8% year on year, or say 3 to 5% year on year, is something very normal that people can expect to grow in terms of real estate. So going forward, a higher interest rate will actually keep it under check. And if you actually want to go outside the GTA or the Greater Vancouver area, then you'll see that the housing prices are still under control. So I think it will be the right time if people start moving outside the Greater Toronto area and the Greater Vancouver area, and there they will be able to find the better houses within budgets. For sure, housing is a bit of an issue, but I think it has been driven up by us, only our communities, when we were paying more than higher prices because of eased up mortgage. And we all know how mortgage got tricked, and people have been using mortgage under the table, to buy those houses. So we are the culprits. We have landed ourselves into that situation, and now we are the ones, we are the ones who are crying about it. So instead of crying about it, let's just look at holding back the prices and correcting the market in terms of housing, right? So I think that should be a better approach. Another important issue, I think, is about medical. People are addressing medical issues, saying that medical is not easily available or takes a lot of time. No doubt about it, the hospitals are overcrowded here in Canada. No doubt that the medical professionals are not easily available. But guys, Canada recently experienced this population boom. We've been seeing over 1 million people come off late, and adding 1 million people to an infrastructure that was only built to sustain about 34 to 33 million really adds a lot of impact. Then we are continuously adding more and more people, and then these are not only permanent residents, we have students, work permit holders. So Canada recently started adding a lot of people. Now any medical facility requires tons of infrastructure, not only money, but it will also require people who will come here and join the jobs. So if you look at that, for example, Kitchener is coming up with another hospital. There's another hospital coming up in Mississauga. So the government is allocating funds. They are working towards medical. If you look at the debates in House of Commons, if you look at the news channels, everybody's talking about bad healthcare. So at least our voices are being heard. This is an ongoing topic, a debatable topic in the Senate all the time, and the ministers are also working towards it. So it is about time that sooner than later the medical issues will fall in place and there will be better infrastructure in the years to come. It may not be that early, but it is still in the process, in the making. On the other hand, it's free. So the government is involved. Now, if you go to a government hospital in India, you know how bad the crises are, right? Like if you've ever been to AIMS or PGI or anything, you will realize how overcrowded these people, these places get, and how difficult it is to manage. So let's just give them a bit of a credit when Canada has senior population, and at least they're trying their best to give you emergency services like ambulances and all of those services on time. I personally have had about 4 instances of going to the hospital last year. Touch wood, my experience was good. In fact, it was above average. That's because I live in a city that's outside GTA. Had I been living in Brampton, I'm sure my experience would not have been that great. But you can look at choosing these options of moving or going outside your Greater Toronto or Greater Vancouver area to get some medical help, and that might address certain of your issues. But be sure that Canada is looking into fixing these medical issues, and no doubt there is an issue. But the kind of services that are provided, the kind of medical health help is provided in Canada, I think it is still pretty much to the tune of the best in the world, if not the very best, but towards, moving towards it. The other thing is that a lot of people are bringing up on social media that Canada has now become dangerous, car theft, stabbings or anything like that. Guys, let's be honest about it. It's a population boom. Just to give you a reference, entire Canada's population is less than Delhi NCR. And Delhi NCR is, in terms of size, is way less than that. Now, if you look at the crime in just Delhi NCR, you'll realize that Delhi NCR crime is way more than whole Canada put together. Okay, so give it some thought in terms of the population. Wherever you see in the world, any country, including US, UK, UK has drug issues, US has gun culture. Now, Africa, we already know it's not safe there anymore. India also has a lot of issues. So, if you look at all the other countries, Canada is still one of the safest place to live in. Well, if you get into certain pockets, or if you get into drugs or those pockets or people where you get yourself into, certain habits or things that will land you into debt issues or anything like that, then obviously those elements will come and attack you. But overall, I think it is still safe. People have income parity. People are satisfied with what their monthly incomes or daily incomes are. So chances of you getting stuck into a situation will be way lesser than you getting stuck into any other country. So I would say, compared to the other countries, Canada is still a lot better place and a lot safer place to be in. We have seen this country day in, day out, and I feel pretty much safe here in terms of the services provided by the government as well. I think it could not have been better. I know people want to compare it to Dubai or the other safer places, but guys, let's be honest. Dubai is a place that's only attracting the best out of you in your best age. Once you're out of job, you are no more welcomed in Dubai and you can leave the country. So a country that is driving benefit out of you can actually give you certain benefits of being safe, at least, right? So I think Canada, by far, giving you citizenship, old age pension, free education, free medical, I think it deserves the status it has today, and it's still way better than the places, tons of places out there. Last but not the least, people say that they want to leave Canada because of family issues. Now, this is one topic that I personally think that everybody has a different opinion, and everybody loves his or her parents, everybody loves his or her family. This is something that cannot be addressed. No wonder Canada is far away from our South Asian countries, and we do miss our parents, right? All I can say is parents are non-replaceable, and I totally understand that staying away from parents or family members is very, very tough. So in this case, I would definitely say it is a difficult place to live in. But you can definitely tackle this by bringing your parents in on permanent resident visas. Canada has options of giving PR to parents. Canada has options of humanitarian and compassionate, those who have not had the chance of getting into PGP lotteries. Canada also has super visa for parents, like entry till up to 7 years. So I think these are certain things which you can use to your benefit and bring your family into Canada, and everybody can live together. And no doubt about it, like, nobody can replace the parents, right? So for sure, living away from parents will be a tough decision to make. All in all, I personally think that with all the justifications I gave, Canada is still by far a very, very good place to live in. Not only till 2024, I think Canada will be a lucrative destination for years to come, for decades to come. There are mainly two things, two reasons behind it. If not Canada, where else will you go? If you don't want to live in, say, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, what are your options? You can either look towards US, UK, Europe, Australia, and Singapore, Dubai, or Canada, right? These are a couple of 7 options. Now, US cannot happen because they're not giving green card anymore. Forget citizenship. UK, never an option. Europe is not going to happen because of strict immigration laws, and UK has a very bad economy at the moment. Europe is not sustainable, no industry to work on. Like, it's very tough to get into that. Dubai is not making you permanent anymore. So that, Dubai is out of question because of that reason. Singapore, again, it's not going to work out. Permanent residency, immigration is not an option. Australia recently said that they're going to tighten up their immigration policies, and they will give PR to only very high skilled people, and people in certain areas which they think are good. So that clearly states that they're closing their doors. So if you look at all of these options put together, Canada is still offering you a citizenship, right? So it is extremely easy to get PR in Canada, then turn it into citizenship. If you don't want to live in your native country, then out of all the options, I think Canada is your option. So why are you even thinking or pondering over the question that whether Canada is an option or not? Like, guys, you are lost on options. There are no other better options available. Then there's no point in even thinking about it, right? Secondly, and most importantly, somebody who's living in a country that has a blast of a population, for example, India, there are very few jobs and a lot of applicants. A person who's able to earn only 10 or 20,000 or 30,000 rupees a month can actually make $17 an hour here in Canada. Now compare $17 an hour by something as simple as serving coffee, or even if you're cleaning dishes, or if you are, for that matter, doing construction or anything, you're making $17, $20, $25 an hour. Versus a laborer in India making only 10,000 rupees a month. Guys, there's no comparison. Like, I don't have to mince my words here. $17 an hour versus 10,000 rupees a month. What do you prefer? Now, I'm not saying that Canada is meant for everybody, but for the right kind of genre who's not able to make money in their country, I think Canada will be a good option for you. For people who are making already lakhs of rupees a month, I think you guys can rethink your decision, because then India can be a better place, right? Or your other country can be a better place. But if you're not making the right kind of money, then Canada can help you get over that poverty line, can get you, the basic needs of life. It can give you a way better life than you can expect. Guys, I hope my video made some sense today. I try to speak out my heart, because it's very, painful to see when people start giving out negative advice only at the pretext of gaining views on videos, because social media today is not about gaining views, but it's about putting the right context and sharing the right information. If you're not able to share the right information, then do not become a clickbait and share negative information, because that can harm a lot of lives and put people away from a path that they should actually be on. I hope I'm able to make some contribution to your decision making process. If you want to discuss your options for coming to Canada, if you want to discuss your PR options or anything, please feel free to schedule a consultation. I would be more than happy to discuss your case with you. Guys, wish you all the best, and I really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.